Now let's check. Let's check also what Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary is literally a billionaire, and he's been also actually talking about altcoins. He's been a very big investor in altcoins, so he does have a lot of info on what's happening in the crypto markets.
You believe in Bitcoin?
So yeah, he talks about Bitcoin, but he holds other stuff than Bitcoin. He also holds some XRP, from what I remember.
You think it's a digital gold, and you live through the volatility. I believe that crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P in some period of time because it provides productivity to all 11 other sectors. This is never going away. It's going to stay forever. So how do you participate? You can buy some Bitcoin just like you can buy gold, buy it in an ETF, or actually own it yourself. You can buy the exchanges. So there's a lot of ways to participate. But yes, I'm here to stay. But I've grown up. I was around during the period where the crypto cowboys lived. Hundreds of thousands of dollars a week.
I think the issue with the XRP right now is most people don't know how to buy it. XRP is all of these ways, still a very early cryptocurrency. Even though it's 10 years old, look at Google. It needed years and years and years of building to actually get where it is now.
If you're making $70,000 a year and you put 15% aside from when you're 25, you'll have over $1.5 million if you just invested it. Wouldn't you like to know?
That's the crazy part, is crypto money is coming in so fast. You don't have to wait until you're like 2062 to actually get all your money. Some people have to wait years, 60 years. You have to wait 40 years for the stock market to change. XRP made millionaires overnight. And that's the big factor that a lot of people are forgetting, is how much easier it is to become a millionaire now than it was maybe 20 years ago.
Quietly positioning themselves, O'Leary believes everything is about to change. He emphasizes that the next phase of the crypto cycle is critical and reveals that he is making significant bets in his portfolio right now. With the next bull market approaching, and crypto and technology expected to be the
bull market is already here, but we might get actually 2 rallies instead of 1, just on how well XRP was doing and how many investors are coming. The first rally is going to be corporations buying, and the second rally is actually going to be the big retail investors, the big cash, the new money coming in, basically everything you see on social media talking about crypto. So the first one that is going to be reserved for ETFs, institutions. It's going to be reserved for the rich players just to buy it at a cheaper price than it will be. And the second one is obviously going to be the one that's going to be announced on mainstream media, which is pretty crazy.
Biggest investment areas this year. Kevin O'Leary says he remains bullish on digital assets, especially after increasing his positions during the last bear market. Maintaining his strong enthusiasm for the crypto space, O'Leary confidently predicts explosive growth on the horizon and encourages investors to take advantage of opportunities during market downturns. Since Bitcoin's sharp fall from its all-time high, the cryptocurrency market has struggled to regain its footing, leaving investors eagerly awaiting a substantial recovery. O'Leary reassures that a long-anticipated surge is coming. Let's dive into his latest interview, as he shares his insights and predictions for the days and weeks ahead.
Crypto. So, are you still bullish on crypto as an investment?
Yeah, I am actually, but people get crypto confused with its real potential. If you believe in Bitcoin, you think it's a digital gold, and you live through the volatility. I believe in both. I believe that crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P in some period of time because it provides productivity to all 11 other sectors.
Look at the younger generation talking about cryptocurrencies. Of course, they don't talk about, oh, I'm going to put all my money into S&P 500, because they don't see that amount of money anymore. Everything is getting more expensive nowadays. Everything is $50, $1,000 rent. So how will you put this money back? How will you make more money than you spend? It's literally only one way, or besides having and grinding your job, that people believe you can get rich. It's by holding cryptocurrencies that have high potential. They don't see value in stocks anymore, and they feel like that most people who put money in stocks are already very, very rich. That's why they're making so much. So if you put like $2 million to stocks, of course, you're going to make money back. But if you're starting with $10,000, it doesn't make that big of a difference. It might go up 10%. It might go up 8%. And that's only $800. What are you going to do with $800 if your rent is $1,000, even if you have a roommate? And there's the big difference. $800 in crypto can literally turn to $3,000, $10,000 so fast. That's what happened with XRP in just a few months, not even a year.
So the way I own it is I own the exchanges. My exchange, in one called WonderFi up in Canada, just got acquired last week or 2 weeks ago by Robinhood. I'm happy because I think Vlad, who runs Robinhood's great. And now he's got 1 million plus accounts in Canada, a market that he'd never participated in. But the point is, this is never going away. It's going to stay forever. So how do you...
So yeah, all of these big players are basically saying crypto is never gone. And that's why, people 10 years ago took a big risk because they were thinking crypto will be banned everywhere. But now you're seeing crypto basically becoming the staple for the US government. It's absolutely insane how much cryptocurrencies are, changing in the last 5-6 years. They're going from something that's just a fad. I had people tell me for years that it is just a fun thing, you will never make it, XRP will never go up. And yet crypto is here now, getting accepted by the US government. And people who are very rich, little billionaires, are talking how it's gonna be here and how it's not gonna go away. So it definitely tells you something that crypto is still in bull run phase.
You participate. You can buy some Bitcoin, just like you can buy gold, buy it in an ETF or actually own it yourself. You can buy the exchanges. You can use, you can buy Circle stock now, it's public. Circle makes USDC. You can buy USDC in an account and make 4.1% interest on it right now. So there's a lot of ways to participate, but yes, I'm here to stay. But I've grown up. I was around during the period where the crypto cowboys...
Passengers flying into Gatwick were...
And I survived that all. And I even testified in front of the Senate and the House and whatever else.
So yeah, little billionaires are talking about cryptocurrencies right now exploding to full extent. And it's growing so fast that the government is worried what's the regulation behind it. They don't know. They weren't prepared for this level of growth.
The testimonies were during the tumultuous period. Because what's about to pass first, we're days away from this happening, is the Genius Act, which is actually the Stablecoin Act. It was just passed by...
So yeah, this passed just as this was made. Like, he already knew what was going to happen. He already knew that it was set in stone. Like, it's literally everything is planned out as it should be.
The Senate 48 hours ago, it's going back to the House. I actually worked on that bill 2 years ago.
Your portfolio in terms of Bitcoin allocation or crypto allocation, what is it now?
It's at about all in. We marked to market last month. It was 19.1%.
19.1%.
Yeah, I have to keep it under 20. It's a sector. So, but remember, in that is the cryptos itself, the Bitcoin, the USDC, and the shares of the infrastructure companies like Circle and everything else. I've got,
So yeah, otherwise he would definitely hold XRP in my opinion. I know there's a lot of big whales who have like that. They, for example, have Bitcoin and then they hold other altcoins like Ethereum, XRP. Maybe they don't go full 100% XRP because it's less, with this big position, it's more risk for them. But you can literally see them making that money back. You can see them that they are getting this huge amount of money and they're getting it back in one year, which people call it, impossible. They call it a scam. And then it's so simple because technology is advancing faster than the price can catch up. So sometimes if you do enough research, you can literally front run how the technology evolves. You can front run the news. You can check the news first, and then 2 weeks, 3 weeks after, crypto pumps.
App names, but they were sectorally diverse. There wasn't 10 sectors back then. There wasn't 11. There was 10. So they didn't have real estate as a sector. So, but I looked at it saying, wow, these are really boring.
You learned a lot about money from your early upbringing, right? From that early context.
Yeah, because what she said to me was, look, I even do this today with wealthy people call me up all the time and say, look, this very wealthy woman got divorced recently. And she said, look, I'm divorcing, and she was a billionaire. She was divorcing. She was more multi-billionaire. And so she said, look, I'm getting everybody's calling me up to be my advisor because I'm separating from my husband. It's all his guys that did all the management of our family wealth. Would you be my advisor? I said, no, I don't do that. But, I can just give you some basic advice. and you can hire people to stick on the mandate. And I gave her Georgette's strategy, but I had her do something else too. I said, let's get a piece of paper. You're a billionaire. Let's put everything on this piece of paper on the last 90 days that you've spent on, whatever the hell it is, I don't care. And let's put on, no computer, no spreadsheet, on this, let's look at all the income that you've made off your portfolio as it stands now, whether it's gold you have or land or stocks or bonds. Let's just do a gut check. Do you outspend yourself? Wouldn't you like to know how much money you're burning, living your lifestyle the way you live it?
That's the big thing here is like billionaires literally give advice for free. If you wanted to get a billionaire's advice on crypto 5 years ago, you had to pay him $3 million for a dinner, or $1 million for a dinner, or 250K or whatever amount. But literally at this point, you can search up YouTube and you can get all these advices on XRP and Ethereum and Bitcoin for no cost at all. They're giving it for free. They're like just saying, take this. And they're also giving, I guess, advice to their friends who have tons of money. There's so much money in the world that people don't even realize.
Just out of interest. Maybe you have enough for the rest of your life, but maybe you want to give some of it to your family one day or give it to charity. Wouldn't you like to know? Because one of my rules is never outspend yourself on any 30 or 60-day cycle, ever. So I'm very careful about that. And we went through this little thing. She freaked out. She was just bleeding hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. Like, you don't.
So it's so easy to outspend your money, but when you're actually tracking, when you're putting money into like an altcoin like XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's very easy to say, oh, I have no money anymore. I paid rent, I paid food, I paid bills. I had to put, if you put money into a XRP first, what some people did, again, not financial advice, but that's what some people did. And they had literal, they were very much budget savvy. Instead of spending $500 in a club, they went ahead and they spent $500 into XRP, which later turned to them into $5,000, $10,000, whatever time they bought. They actually did DCA, which means dollar cost average, which means if XRP went down, you bought it for a certain amount. So even if you bought it, at the peak or bottom, you bought it at the average.
You've had
like somewhere in the middle.
Nobody restrict what you do with your money, because you're going to have to sell stocks at some point, or sell gold, or sell land to keep this up.
And that's the issue right now. A lot of people are not financially literate, and they are using stocks as a crutch until they realize how little they will return, or how little they do return. When they use crypto, I know a lot of people think, what if this crypto goes up? When you see a stock, you say, okay, this stock will only go up 10%. But cryptos, you could have the real regret of a cryptocurrency going up 100 to 100% and you lose everything. And here's the big deal about it, that sometimes cryptocurrencies might, just outperform 3 years or 2 years of the S&P 500, which makes people hold it more, maybe even for a few years more, which turns out to 1,000% more, which, $1,000 or 1,000% is a pretty good return.
And are you really that happy?
O'Leary says it's the fastest pace of adoption of any investable asset in all of human history. By the end of 2025, there will be 1.1 billion active crypto wallets. The pace period characterized by parabolic moves upwards in crypto prices.
If you only put aside 15%, if you're making $70,000 a year and you put 15% aside from when you're 25, you'll have over $1.5 million if you just invested it.
Exactly what he's saying. Like, just invest your money and hold it. That's what I would do. Not financial advice, but again, it's pretty safe to say that a lot of people are spending tons of money right now, sometimes on credit cards, sometimes they can't afford. Forever, this will stick with me when someone told me he got $1 million and he spent it all. He made it by trading and he spent it all on clubs, bars, and for what? In the end, you have nothing. If he literally put $1 million in XRP, he made that money, I guess, 2020, 2021. So he made it during the crypto stock runs and he spent it in the last 2-3 years. So XRP at that time was at its peak, it was, let's say, about $1 or $1.10. He would literally have $3 million right now, enough money for the rest of his life. But because he did this one stupid decision, he might need 20, 30 years to rebuild his career or life in general. So just let that sink in, that sometimes holding, is maybe better position than selling off all your assets. Again, my videos are not financial advice and do not constitute a financial advice, but I'm speaking from my own experience, is that I sold 25% of my own XRP when it was $2.7. And look at it now, it's $3.5. Could have gained more, but you never know what happens in the cryptocurrency market. So it can either go up, it could go down, but right now all the institutions are very bullish on it, and that's what makes me bullish on it too. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and smash that like button.